what's your name?
My name is Phil Batchelor and I'm from London, England.
Ok, perfetto. Ok, allora vabbè, benvenuti, siamo in compagnia di gli STOMP. Oggi è il rappresentante oggi è Phil. E niente, gli faremo alcune domande perché in questi giorni stanno facendo una performance al Goldoni e fino alla domenica ci saranno tutti i giorni alle 8:30 di sera. E niente, iniziamo con le domande che Carolina mi aiuterà oggi nell'interpretazione.
So first of all, what does STOMP mean? What does it stay for? And how did the project start?
Okay, so the word stomp means to stomp your foot. So that's the actual meaning of the word itself. Over the years, the show's been going for like 26 years this year. So over the years, stomp kind of now means to make music with everyday items. So we make music with things that aren't necessarily musical instruments. So we make music with dustbins and broomsticks and Zippo lighters and matchboxes. So we don't actually we play percussion and we use rhythm, but we don't actually use like real life instruments. So these instruments that we use ourselves, they become our instruments.
But does this idea of using this junk percussion instruments come from? Does it have a message?
I think it's the way that the show is written. It gives the audience the opportunity to take from it what they want. So it's not a traditional musical theatre experience where you have it's a play and you have like the hero or the villain or whatever and it follows a story. The whole show itself is basically celebrating music and celebrating rhythm and showing that like 8 people on stage who might not even necessarily know each other can play music together and have a conversation just using rhythm. So because we don't even have any spoken word or singing in the show or whatever, we can actually take the show all around the world and there'd be no language barriers because it's just purely rhythm. So, and I can even in the show I can converse with a crowd that speaks a completely different language to me, but I can just clap my hands and get them to clap their hands back, and then we're having a musical conversation even though we might not even be able to talk to each other using spoken word.
So STOMP was born in 1991, and from that time it never stopped developing. How often do you change your members, your composition, and why do you do that?
Okay, so the creators of the show, Luke Cresswell and Steve McNicholas, they still have the creative control over the show. Every couple of years or every time that they think that the show needs like a bit of a refresh, they'll write a new piece or a couple of new pieces for the show. So the most recent of those ones are. Have you guys seen the show? Tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the show we right now the most recent pieces that were added a couple of years ago were shopping trolleys and these little white pipes that we use, and they're kind of like plastic accordions, but we call them frogs because they make a little ribbit sound. But so then we also change the cast around, and it's all kind of depending really on who we have. People will come and do the show and they'll stay for quite a long time, or some people will come and do the show and do it for a year or two and then move on to other projects. So it's always evolving, and every time we get someone else new in the show or a group of new people, they bring their own input into the show as well. So everyone plays like an extension of their own personality. So even if you saw the show last night, or if you see the show tonight, it would be slightly different because we travel with 12 people as well, and we rotate the cast around. So it's always a little different. The framework of the show is the same, but because people play themselves, then you have a different dynamic every night.
So what are the requirements in the choice of the new members?
So fundamentally you need to have a really good sense of rhythm. if you don't have a good sense of rhythm, you can't fake it, because the show is live. It's live music, but essentially that's it. You need to have a really good sense of rhythm. And if you go, the nice thing about STOMP is that we hold open auditions, so anyone can apply to have an audition. If you guys wanted to be part of STOMP, you could all go online and apply to have an audition, and next time we have auditions, an email will be sent out and it'll be like, come to London, we're auditioning for STOMP. And then we hold these auditions in big groups, and we teach people a certain tiny thing from the show, see who's got a good sense of rhythm, and then it kind of goes through a process a little bit like X Factor or whatever. Like, you might be successful and you not, and then it goes to another group, and then we do an audition again. And so people come from different backgrounds. I come from playing drums. We have people that come from dance backgrounds. Some people don't play drums or don't dance. They just saw the show and thought it was really cool and wanted to give it a go. Or they might be a little bit interesting looking or a little bit crazy looking. So they look for people with good. They look for interesting or unique kind of people, and also people who have rhythm.
So it's not important to be athletic or something like that?
No, okay. You don't need to be athletic. I mean, you might see some people in the show that are slightly overweight, but they look kind of like interesting and cool. I mean, the show itself keeps you quite fit.
Yeah. So someone like skin like his is not...
Yes, yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
So you said some of you are dancers and some of you are drummers.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the relationship between dancing and drumming?
Well, in our show, you can't. I come from a drumming background, right? So I didn't come from a dancing background. So I actually gain experience in being able to move, because obviously we do all these numbers on stage, and we sort of move in a certain way. We have choreography in the show. So the nice thing about STOMP is that if you're a dancer that's never played the drums before, we make music effectively drumming, but we're not sat behind a drum kit, so it's a different kind of drumming. So the dancers they learn how to be able to drum and play percussion, and then the dancers learn how to move in an interesting way. So they kind of come hand in hand, and when you have the two together in STOMP, a dancer and a drummer, you then become a stomper.
Okay. How do your rehearsals work? I would be really interested to know about your rehearsals.
Like before a show, or in general learning the show?
Learning the show.
Learning the show, okay. So after we've done an audition process and they've picked a few people that they think might have the potential to be in the show, those people are invited to undergo a training contract. And so this lasts for about 6 to 8 weeks, and it's every day. It's an intensive training process. So we would go in. It's usually held in Brighton or London, and in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, we'd go in, and you basically strip down the whole show and learn everything really, really slowly. Pick up a broom, see how it moves, see how it sweeps, how it sounds, and then you learn all these different numbers. The show is about learning numbers and learning how to hit on a certain number, or sweep on a certain number, or clap your hands and stamp your feet in a certain way, a certain number. So it's a lot of counting and it's a lot of memory. And then just piece by piece, we learn these numbers and put them together, and slowly but surely, everyone learns how to do the show. So then we have different characters within the show as well. So after a couple of weeks of learning the sort of fundamentals of STOMP and rhythm, people then get assigned these characters, and then they can learn just the music, the numbers for that particular role. And then, so for the next 4 weeks, everyone is concentrating on their own individual music and numbers. And then at the end of that stage, everyone is ready to go and do a show. So then usually, let's say there's a group of 8 people. Let's say I'm ready to go and do a show. You would then go to London, and because we have the show in London as well, then I would then get put into the cast in London with 7 other people who were already in the show, and then you would do a show. You just get thrown in, do it, and then it's kind of sink or swim. They'd see if you do well, great. And if you don't do well, like maybe try again or no, thank you.
How long have you been in the show?
This is my 10th year.
10? Wow.
Yeah, I auditioned back in 2007 and did my training in the summer of 2007 and then started doing the show later that year.
So who's the oldest member?
It might be me.
Oh, really?
Oh no, there's one other person that's 1 year older than me.
Oh.
That he's been doing the show for on and off for 13 years, I think. Yeah, I feel old now. Thank you.
So did you like the Venetian audience? How was the show last night?
Shows are good. I think people here are attentive and you know, the response from being here has been really good. Like everyone's up for. The show's quite involving, so we invite the crowd to participate with us, and you guys will see that tonight. You know, we'll get you guys clapping and trying to mimic what we do. So yeah, it's gone down well, and people here had a good time, and it's good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I ask to just mi aiuta lei? Chiedergli se si può fare una dimostrazione dei Stomp e perché venire a vedere stasera e non solo ascoltare la registrazione oggi in radio.
Can we have a practical demonstration? And,
Like 1 second of Stomp, like for let people know why come tonight.
just for me.
No, just if you want.
Sure, we've got some, so we can play our body. So we go.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So see you this night.
Cool. All right. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.